The three gods decided that things should exist. Thank you, Fecc. Uh, so they created the world and specifically Hyrule. When they left, they decided to leave bits of their power behind and created the Triforce, an artifact that would grant its holder whatever they desire. They entrusted it to a new goddess who would watch over Hyrule named Hylia. Now during her time, this, and I swear, fuck you both, I swear these are Fecc's words. Hold on. And again, these are Fecc's words, not mine. During her time, this ugly-ass Demon King motherfucker named Demise came along, I think it's Demise, came along and was like, hey, that's a nice shiny Triforce you have there. Give it to me so I can take over the world. And he sent an army to go get it. Hylia gathered all the humans left, put them on huge bits of land, and sent them off into the sky on islands to hide them away and keep them safe and hide the Triforce and a sword she created called the Goddess Sword with them. She continued the fight and sealed Demise away, but was horribly wounded. She gave up her divinity and set her soul to reincarnate when the Demon King was about to break free again. And now we get to the events of the first game in the timelines. Cool. This is Skyward Sword. Thousands of years later, Hylia is reborn into Zelda. But she doesn't know she's Hylia, so Zelda is Hylia? I think I missed that. During a yearly night ceremony thing, she gets pulled below the clouds in a tornado that was created by someone who wants to free the Demon King. A creepy fuck named Giram. Okay. The Demon King, a creepy fuck named Gira, and he needs her to be present to do it. She gets rescued by a lady-based Impa? Based Impa? Is that what you meant to say? A warrior Hylia sent through time to help her future self. Link finds the Goddess Sword in the spirit that lives in the sword named Fee, who helps you on your quest. I almost said journey. And jumps below the clouds to save her. Zelda regains her goddess memory. Zelda and Impa go to the Temple of Time and open a gate through time to hide in the past, then destroy it. So the creepy boy couldn't follow. Interesting. Lady named Impa. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. There's a bit of typos in here, but we're gonna be lenient with Fecc because it took him a long ass time. Link refines the Goddess Sword using Dragon Flames to make the Master Sword. He used the Master Sword to activate a second gate to get to the past and protect Zelda. She puts herself into a long sleep and keeps Demise sealed. It was also super late. Yeah, it was also 3 a.m. Link gets the Triforce and uses it to keep Demise sealed in the present. But Creepy Boy decides nah. So when Zelda wakes up, he ambushes them and takes her to the past where Demise is alive and resurrects him. Link uses the Master Sword to defeat him, and with his dying breath, Demise curses himself, Link, and Zelda to resurrect for eternity. Link places the Master Sword in its pedestal, and Fee goes to sleep, never to wake again. And Link and Zelda start a kingdom in Hyrule. That's one game. He skips a couple games, and then a couple thousand years later, wow. Hyrule is a prosperous kingdom, and all is well. The Triforce was sealed in the Door of Time and is unable to be reached. Link and Zelda have reincarnated. They are new people. The leader of the neighboring kingdom of the Gyarados? a man named Ganondorf, Matthew Mercer, not yet, but Matthew Mercer, swears loyalty to the king, but secretly plans to obtain the full power of the Triforce for himself. Okay. um, where is it? For himself. He curses a living tree in the village of forest children, known as the Kukori. Because tree has an emerald he needs buried in him. Because the tree has an emerald buried... He needs buried in him? What? He needs an emerald buried in him? What? We're not talking about anything in Breath of the Wild until I get to it. Please. We are not talking about it until I get to it. As the great Deku tree dies, he sends Link on a quest to retrieve the other stones and stop Ganondorf. Zelda has a vision of the coming events and meets with Link, who she's never met before, in a plot to open the door of time and get him the Master Sword. However, when he gets the Master Sword, he goes into a 7-year status. Great. Because he's not strong enough to use it as a kid. I added the great, by the way. That wasn't him. There's an emerald in the tree and Ganondorf needs it? Okay, interesting. While he was gone for 7 years, Ganondorf got the Triforce and took over Hyrule. Filling it with monsters and chaos. The Triforce split into separate parts. Ganondorf got one part, the Triforce of Power, Zelda got the Triforce of Wisdom, and Link got the Triforce of Courage. Link goes on a huge quest to find people around Hyrule with hidden powers called sages. And with their power and the Master Sword, he defeats Ganondorf and seals him in the Evil Realm, where he vows to get revenge. Zelda sends Link back in time to fully live out his childhood, and then shit gets really confusing with the lore. Cool. And then Fecc tells me a whole bunch of different timelines that there are. There's one where Ganondorf is defeated. There's a timeline where young Link was sent back and warns the king about Ganondorf's betrayal. And then there's a timeline where Link fails to beat Ganondorf. I went with Link warning the king first. Young Link warns the king, then Ganon gets arrested and goes and fucks off to do stuff that isn't lore connected at all, which is a whole nother game. Ganondorf gets sentenced to death, but his execution fails because the gods bless him with the piece of the Triforce he had in the other timeline. So they instead seal him in a place called the Twilight Realm, using the Mirror of Twilight. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ganondorf can't leave the Twilight Realm. Jesus fucking Christ. But he sends someone who can, a Twilight resident named Zant. New Link, descendant of Child Link from previous adventure, New Zelda, same Ganondorf. The Twilight Princess Midna gets trapped in Hyrule as an imp. Link gets turned into a wolf, Zelda hides in the castle, and Zant invades Hyrule and starts turning it into the Twilight Realm bit by bit. Link and Midna work together to restore light to Hyrule, and he returns to human. Link meets the spirit of the Link from the previous game and gets trained by him. Zant turns Link back into a wold. And almost killed Midna but saves Zelda. But Zelda saves her life and tells them to find the Master Sword. Jesus Christ. It doesn't help that I'm also dyslexic. Yes, please, no more talking about it until I get to the part you're fucking talking about and get past that part. Or just finish the game in general. Which won't be for at least a week. So, we're just gonna keep it. I don't know where I am. Find the Master Sword. Okay. Zant is able to free Ganondorf before Link and Midna can stop him. Midna kills Zant when they find him, and they gotta fight Ganondorf. Link kills him. Midna returns to the Twilight Realm, and she breaks their ability to travel back and forth, severing the realms forever. Jesus Christ. Oh, another... Oh, okay. I'll save that. Laws? Lore? This lore is confusing as fuck. Also, actually going to close that. New Link, new Zelda, new Ganondorf. Legend of Zelda. Oh. That makes sense. Fair enough. Thanks. A new Ganondorf is born and plans to... I'm guessing it's two. But to bring back a wizard trapped in a sword called the Four Sword. Zelda gathers shrine maidens to keep the wizard's seal intact, but Ganondorf sends a dark shadow version of Link to stop them, and the wizard is released. Link draws the Four Sword, split into 4 people. What? And they seal the wizard and Ganondorf 2 into the Four Sword for all of time. Everyone is simping for new Ganondorf, yeah. Everyone, we were talking about Matthew Mercer being Ganondorf, and everyone's simping for him. Okay, so now we move on to the fail timeline. Where, hold on. Let me get back to it. Where Link fails to beat Ganondorf. That's where we're going next. Splits Link into 4 people. Oh. Interesting. After Ganondorf defeats Link, he fights... What? He fights war with Hyrule for a long time and eventually gets imprisoned in the Sacred Realm. New Link, new Zelda, original Ganondorf. Many years late, a wizard named Aghanim? I got nothing. Saves Hyrule from plagues and misfortunes and stuff. What? He becomes the king's advisor and uses his powers to brainwash the knights and banish 6 maidens who were descendants of the sages to the Dark World and break the seal holding Ganondorf in. Ganondorf is a 9 out of 10? Okay. Sure. Isn't he a pig man? Isn't he like a pig? He holds Zelda prisoner and calls out to the hero using telepathy. Link and his uncle hear the call. His uncle goes to save her, and Link follows. His uncle dies, attempting to save her, and Link picks up his uncle's sword and shield and saves her himself. Damn. He goes on a small quest to retrieve the Master Sword. When he returns, Zelda has been kidnapped again, and Link goes to save her, but arrives late. Zelda gets sent to the Dark World. Link defeats the wizard, but is sent to the Dark World as well. He finds the wired there again? I'm guessing wizard there? He finds the wizard there again? Sent to the Dark World, he finds the wizard in the Dark World? Beats him again, and Ganondorf rises from his body. He defeats Ganondorf, recreating the seal that binds him in the Dark World, and uses the Triforce to resurrect the king and his uncle, and returns the Triforce to the royal family. Triforce gets split again to keep it safe, but Ganondorf somehow gets part again as it splits. The failed timeline is older games. The story is way more loose and unplanned. Cool. I was so tired. I understand. But it is Wizard, right? Is this... No. Okay, this is the last bit of that one. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Years and years later, Ganon is somehow revived. And he says, somehow revived. So I'm guessing that's not explained, or it's just a weird explanation. This is the first ever Zelda game, so they didn't explain his resurrection. Oh, okay. Got it. So they didn't explain it very well. Ganon marches on Hyrule, now as a creepy-looking pig man. Cool. Probably from all the dying and reviving in Dark World stuff. To steal the Triforce of Power, he lost the piece of the Triforce of Power that he lost when he died, and Zelda destroys the Triforce of Wisdom and breaks it into small parts to hide across the land so Ganon can't have it. Just now getting to the first game. Holy shit. I think this is just all of the games, and it's just, like, the timeline is so weird that it goes back and forth between games. Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. That's fair. Yeah, the first game is late into the timeline. Yeah, like Star Wars. Exactly, like Star Wars. Zelda sends an Impa, a new one, the princess's assistant, is always an Impa. So Zelda sends an Impa to find a courageous hero. A 10-year-old Link saves her from Ganon monsters. She tells him to collect the Triforce of Wisdom bits and uses it and a random magic sword to defeat Ganondorf. Direct sequel to Zelda 2, Adventure of Link. What was that? That was weird. Link, now 16, learns he has the Triforce of Courage inside him. Impa leads him to an altar where Zelda is stuck in a sleeping curse, but not the Zelda from the game, from the first game, a different from way in the past. And he goes on to defeat a bunch of guardians and get the full power of courage and learn the spell to wake Zelda, which he does. And that's the end of that timeline. A random magic sword, it never got named. Yeah, okay. Why did Link eat the Triforce? What? Did I say that he ate the Triforce? What? Oh, no. Oh, it's inside him? I don't know. Ignore Wrath. Okay. So Link was sent back in time at the timeline split, so there's no hero around when Ganondorf's seal breaks. This is, by the way, this is the adult timeline. This is the last timeline. And the gods decide to flood Hyrule to keep him from getting the Triforce of Courage left behind when Link got sent back. Now Hyrule is mostly one big ocean with little islands all over the place, and Hyrule is frozen in time beneath the ocean. Ganondorf flees to the islands and starts kidnapping every blonde girl in what's left of the kingdom looking for Zelda because he wants to at least have the Triforce of Wisdom. Which is fucking weird. Um, that's fucking weird. Link's little sister gets kidnapped from their island, so he sets out to save her and meets the King of Red Lions, a boat that has the King of Hyrule's soul trapped in it. The King of Hyrule's soul. Interesting. He fails to stop Ganondorf the first time and goes on a quest to collect goddess stones so he can go beneath the water and get the Master Sword. With the help of a girl named Tetra, the captain of a pirate crew, Link rescues his sister but fails to beat Ganondorf because the Master Sword lost its power. How did the Master Sword lose its power? Do we know that? Is that like a thing we know? They escape, and the kind of red lions help Tetra unlock the Triforce of Wisdom and reveals her to be Zelda's descendant. Link gathers part of the Triforce of Courage and restores its power. It was dormant for too long? Oh. Zelda / Tetra get kidnapped, or Zelda and Tetra? Both of them? Or is it the same person? I don't know. Gets kidnapped. Link goes to save her. Okay, same person. The Triforce gets fully reunited and just as Ganon is about to wish to conquer the world, the King of Red Lions returns to human form and wishes for Hyrule to be washed over the waves forever. Link and Tetra beat Ganondorf and let him sink beneath the waves, then set out to find a new Hyrule. A few more things happen. Trains get invented, but none of it's lore important. Cool. And that's the end of the timeline. That's it. And then I just ask a whole bunch of other questions. And then, Fecc says, Breath of the Wild. Nobody knows where Breath of the Wild takes place. But we do know that Breath of the Wild... Tears of the Kingdom is right after Breath of the Wild.